Hello and welcome to another edition of the Stench of Truth. I want to talk a little bit more about propaganda control and another form, a tool of the elitists and of those in power is something called disinformation. Disinformation has been used, and misinformation as well, has been used extensively and very thoroughly by those in power, in order to muddy the waters, in order to make it so incredibly difficult to get to the truth about any particular subject or issue that they wish to use it on. And I can put this into perspective in a number of ways. First of all, I wanted to talk about what is the ultimate purpose here. I'm sure a lot of you, perhaps all of you who watch my videos, will be aware of Agenda 21. And this is a UN proposal which would have us all shoved into small megacities here and there around our various countries and have the vast majority of the planet turned back over to nature. Of course there will have to be a tremendous culling of the population to allow this to happen, because the billions that we have now certainly wouldn't fit into the very small areas that they have planned for us. And with the cap and trade bill passing the House and awaiting some action in the Senate, this is all in line with this plan. It's moving in this direction, in order to reduce and eliminate the use of energy by human beings, because we're worthless and useless according to the powers that be, those elites who control everything. And to play into this same scenario, I mentioned previously about abortion and euthanasia. And I wanted to make it clear that I'm not talking about personal issues here. If you were an elderly person suffering from a serious debilitating disease and you wanted to end your life, I certainly don't have any problem with that whatsoever. The same thing goes with abortion. It's a personal issue. It should be for everybody. It's not for anybody to tell you what you can and can't do with your own personal self, as far as I'm concerned. The reason I brought it up is because eugenics is a very important topic to the elites that run things, okay? So they make a political, they make everything into a political argument, and they use it as a propaganda tool and as a tool against the people. So it's all politicized. So thus abortion is used. Euthanasia is used as a way for the elites to minimize the value of human life. And that's how it's used. I'm not talking about the personal decisions that are made by individuals. I'm talking about the politicized action itself, which is to say that human life is not worth anything. And that is the purpose behind why they drive those particular aspects. Now, I'd also like to comment on the 9/11 Truth movement. Now, most of the people who are still so embedded into this study and the looking at of 9/11, they are operating under a belief system that is not first time this has come around. Okay, we had a truth movement not too far in the past, and this surrounded the Kennedy assassination in 1963, and for years afterwards, and even still to this day, there are people who feel that the Kennedy assassination is the key to understanding the grand secret, the huge fucking conspiracy that's behind everything. It'll explain it all once they crack that fucking code. And you have the same people today who are so immersed into what happened on September 11th that they think if they finally get behind the curtain, they finally crack and solve this incredible fucking twisted conspiracy that was behind 9/11, that they're going to understand the grand scheme of things behind the scenes. Well, I have news for you. You know, in the decades since the Kennedy assassination, all we have had is more and more information dumped into the system, and this brings me back to disinformation. And that is what has happened with 9/11. There is a tremendous amount of disinformation that has been thrown into this giant mixer, okay? Let me tell you one thing that I know absolutely for sure. You're never going to solve the fucking enigma, the problem, the conspiracy knot surrounding 9/11. They never did it for JFK, and they never will. And you're never going to see behind the grand scheme. You're never going to see past the illusion of what was presented in 9/11. So for all of the people who are focused entirely on 9/11, you need to realize the futility of your actions. I'm not saying that you are to forget 9/11, and I'm not saying that you are not to continue to delve into that. The only thing I am saying is that for those people who are so incredibly focused on this one event, you're missing the broader picture. And you're being sucked into a hole of disinformation that is designed to drive you fucking crazy. Because that's where all these things lead. If you look at the Kennedy assassination, you look at 9/11, you see the tremendous amount of disinformation, that there are 97 fucking possible solutions. Which one do you believe? There's evidence that each one of them is the truth. And yet only one can be. So don't stay focused on that one thing and not see everything happening all around you right now. You know, the elites are extremely good at what they do. And they use propaganda. They use disinformation. They use every form of thought control. They use every ability that they possess because they understand the human mind so perfectly well. One thing that we can use against them is that the elites are basically psychopaths, okay? If you want to get into this a little bit more, check out Alan Watt, okay? Listen to his stuff, read his stuff. Check him out because he talks about how the elites are psychopaths. And they are psychopaths, and we can use this against them because basically psychopaths are only about their own agenda. They cannot see beyond their own selves, and we can use that against them. Okay? We can use our freedom against them. We can use our own ability to escape control by seeing it and by combating it. We can use all of that against the elites that want to drive Agenda 21, that want to put in this cap and trade, that want to, you know, depopulate the world, that want to, you know, cram us into fucking sardine can cities while they turn over the rest of the planet to nature, you know, and almost this sort of Gaia worship. You know, you've read all the documents, you've seen all of this stuff, you know. Global warming is a massive hoax, but they need it. They need it to drive their agenda. And the agenda that they have can't be changed because they have invested everything they have into it. If you can break the legs off of any one of their fucking schemes, you can stop them. Because then they cannot proceed forward, and that's the only way they can go. Use their psychopathy against them, or psychopathy, whatever you want to call it, psychosis. Use that against them. Realize that you're being lied to every fucking day in every fucking way. And that everything is filled with propaganda and disinformation, misinformation, lies, half-truths. No, don't even listen to me. Find out for yourself. And the best way, the absolute best way for you to get control of your life is to realize that you're being controlled and wrest that control away. and then look at yourself before you decide to get involved in any kind of activism, programs, community services, whatever you decide to do that you think's important. You need to understand who the fuck you are, and you need to understand what the fuck you want before you can even hope to have an impact on a wider scale. You got to understand yourself first. And there ain't a fucking person out there that can tell you who you are or what you want or what's important to you in your life except for your own damn self. And don't let anybody try to tell you different. Thank you. Good night.